The forests that once stayed frozen are beginning to burn. Massive wildfires consume millions of hectares each summer. Siberia is changing. And what happens in Siberia does not stay in Siberia, where tectonic plates grind against each other. The most dramatic is Klyuchevskaya Sopka.
Imagine a place larger than the United States and Europe combined. And yet, you could travel for hundreds of miles without seeing a single soul.
No noise, no crowds, just silence so deep it feels alive.
This is Siberia. Not just a region, not just a cold place on a map. It's something else entirely.
A world where molten lava flows over ice.
Where the deepest lake on Earth hides creatures found nowhere else.
So how do they do it? How does life not just survive here, but thrive? Let's find out. To really understand Siberia, you have to start where the cold isn't just weather, it's a way of life.
Deep in the Verkhoyansk Mountains sits a small valley called Oymyakon. The surrounding peaks block every warm wind that dares to blow through. Cold air settles in and just stays.
Temperatures here have dropped as low as -71 degrees Celsius. Only about 1,000 people call it home permanently. And here's the thing. It's not some dramatic survival camp. It's just life. Kids walk to school bundled in layers of fur. Shops open on time. Families chop ice to collect water. Food is stored outside. What better freezer is there? Engines are never switched off, because if they stop, they probably won't start again. The cold doesn't pause, and neither do the people. Moving deeper into northeastern Siberia, you reach the Sakha Republic, also known as Yakutia.
This place is bigger than Argentina, and yet towns are scattered far apart.
At its center is Yakutsk, one of the coldest cities in the world, built entirely on permafrost. The ground here never fully thaws, so buildings stand on tall concrete pillars to let cold air circulate underneath, preventing heat from softening the frozen earth below. In winter, a thick fog swallows Yakutsk whole. The city seems to float, half real, half dream. At the outdoor fish markets, frozen fish are stacked like carved stones. The most famous of these roads is the Kolyma Highway, known locally as the Bone Road. It stretches for thousands of kilometers through raw wilderness, where help can take days to arrive. Drivers here follow unspoken rules. Never travel alone. Never let the engine die for too long. And if you see a broken down vehicle, you stop. Every time. Out here, that's not kindness. That's just how you survive.
For Yakutsk, the Lena River isn't scenery. It's survival.
In summer, which lasts barely 4 months, the Lena becomes a highway.
Then winter comes, and the river transforms. The surface freezes so thick that trucks drive across it.
Beneath much of Siberia lies permafrost, a frozen layer of earth locked in time for tens of thousands of years.
From this frozen ground, mammoths have emerged, fur intact, skin preserved, even food still visible in their stomachs. She lay undisturbed beneath the Yakutia permafrost for over 50,000 years before the melting ground gave her back to us. Permafrost is essentially Earth's memory, but it's also a warning. East of Yakutia, Siberia stops being frozen and starts being violent.
The Kamchatka Peninsula, perched on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates grind against each other. The most dramatic is Klyuchevskaya Sopka, a perfectly shaped cone volcano over 4,000 meters high. It erupts regularly, hurling ash hundreds of kilometers into the atmosphere.
Deeper inland lies the Valley of the Geysers, one of the largest geothermal areas on Earth. Ice and fire exist just meters apart. Glaciers supply water to rivers flowing through boiling geysers. And through all of this, brown bears move quietly, massive, unhurried, completely at home.
In autumn, they gather along the rivers to hunt migrating salmon, eating intensely before the long winter ahead. In winter, the surface freezes over, thick enough to drive trucks across. Cracks shoot across the surface like blue lightning, releasing deep boom-like sounds that roll across kilometers of silence.
Air bubbles freeze mid-float, suspended in perfect spheres between water and sky.
Inside some of these formations, ice caves form naturally, transparent corridors where light shifts from blue to emerald.
In Baikal's frigid waters lives the Nerpa, the world's only freshwater seal species.
Air bubbles freeze mid-float, suspended in perfect spheres between water and sky.
At the island's symbolic center is Cape Burkan, the Shaman Cliffs. Along the roads leading there, wooden pillars hold blue, white, and yellow prayer ribbons swaying in the wind.
Hidden within the Altai Mountains is a small lake called Geyser Lake.
Slow, shifting circles of blue and turquoise forming on the surface, rippling outward and dissolving, then forming again.
Cutting through all of this, from Moscow to the Pacific coast, is the Trans-Siberian Railway.
Nearly 9,300 kilometers, 7 time zones, one continuous steel thread connecting the impossible. Construction began in 1891. Tens of thousands of workers were brought into the wilderness. Many never came home.
The Chuya Highway winds through the Altai Mountains along a route that traders and nomads used for millennia.
Further along, the Katu Yarik Pass descends nearly a kilometer through steep, narrow switchbacks carved into a mountain face.
Where Siberian history first took shape stands Tobolsk, founded in the late 16th century.
Novosibirsk is the largest city in Siberia. Wide avenues, research institutes, culture, technology, industry, all running forward.
Siberia doesn't ask for your admiration. It simply exists, ancient, enormous, and indifferent. And somehow, that makes it one of the most extraordinary places on this planet. The Putorana Plateau sits far above the Arctic Circle, disconnected from roads and cities. It looks like somewhere time forgot. Born from massive volcanic eruptions over 200 million years ago, then slowly carved by ice, water, and gravity. Thousands of waterfalls cascade from the heights, some delicate silver threads, others thundering torrents, echoing through empty valleys where no human voices respond. Living here, somehow, is the Putorana snow sheep, one of the rarest animals on Earth, found only on this plateau. Nowhere else on Earth. When danger approaches, they don't run flat, they climb. In a place almost uninhabitable by humans, they've turned the terrain itself into protection. South of all this something unexpected appears. The Chara Desert. Sand dunes rising from the Siberian wilderness, surrounded by snow and forest. A desert that has no right to be there. Formed from glacial deposits left over from the last ice age, it shifts with the seasons, scorching in summer, frozen in winter. Along the Lena River, rock pillars rise from the ancient seabed. The Lena Pillars, vertical walls of stone stretching for kilometers, resembling a crumbling city or a forgotten forest. Each layer of rock records vanished oceans and extinct life. Locals say they're guardians of the river. Deeper in Altai, the Kyzylchin Valley is ablaze with color. Red, orange, and purple hills formed by minerals exposed over millions of years. A landscape often called the Mars of Siberia. These places are not symbols, they are evidence. Siberia is not a single land, but many lands, connected by time, pressure, and change. In winter, Baikal transforms. The surface freezes into a layer of glass so thick that trucks can drive on it. However, the ice never truly stands still. Cracks race beneath the surface like blue lightning. When strong winds blow across the vast lake, the ice is pushed, collides, and rises, forming towering mounds of ice. They resemble the ruins of a forgotten crystal city, where broken ice fragments are pressed upright. Inside these mounds, ice caves form naturally. Water seeps into the cracks, freezing in thin layers over time. They create transparent corridors where light passing through the ice changes color from blue to emerald. The cave ceilings are covered with sharp, perfectly formed stalactites, as if carved by hand. Upon entering, all sounds are swallowed up. Only the gentle whistling of the wind and the cracking of the ice remain. Lake Baikal is also a biological mystery. In its frigid waters lives the world's only species of freshwater seal, the Nerpa.
Smaller than ocean seals, with large dark eyes built for dim underwater light.
How they ended up here is still something of a mystery. Whatever happened, they evolved alongside Baikal itself. On the vast ice surface of Baikal, flocks of gulls are a rare sign of life in an otherwise immobile space. They fly low, slowly and purposefully, circling along the ice cracks as if reading the lake's breath. Gulls perch patiently on the ice, waiting for the right moment to dive. Their calls echo in the empty space. Along the western shore of Lake Baikal lies Olkan Island, the largest island on the lake. The wind blows constantly across the open grasslands, carrying the scent of cold water and dry grass. Small villages scattered here and there, old and quiet, as if time has slowed down. The island's topography changes constantly. Gentle hillsides, sparse forests, golden beaches, and arid semi-desert areas. This contrast creates the feeling that Olkan does not belong to a single world. At the symbolic center of the island is Cape Burkan, also known as the Shaman Cliffs. This jagged rock formation juts out of the water like a landmark between the sky and the lake. In winter, when Lake Baikal freezes over completely, Cape Burkan becomes even more prominent, standing against the white expanse. The transparent ice surrounding the rock acts like a giant mirror, reflecting its rough and ancient form. Long blue cracks run along the base of the cliff, emitting a deep, resonant sound in the silence. Between the ice, the sky, and the water, Burkhan appears as an entity detached from time, both solitary and majestic. Along the roads leading to Cape Burkhan, simple wooden pillars are erected. On them, blue, white, and yellow prayer ribbons gently sway in the wind. Each ribbon carries a silent message, a plea for peace, a wish for good health, or simply gratitude to nature and the unseen forces. Lake Geyser is small, tranquil, and easily overlooked, hidden within the Altai landscape. Blue and turquoise circles slowly form and disappear like vivid shapes. They are created by mineral-rich springs rising from below. As warm water pushes up through the sediment, it shifts the fine clay at the bottom, creating concentric circles that undulate and fade. Never twice does the same thing appear at this lake. Here, everything moves slowly. This continuous flow keeps the lake water clear and creates vibrant patterns of color, a geothermal oasis in the frigid mountains. The Trans-Siberian Railway cuts across Siberia like a steel thread, connecting east and west. Spanning nearly 9,300 kilometers, it crosses 7 time zones, forests, rivers, mountains, and permafrost. It is the world's longest railway and one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever undertaken. Construction began in 1891, driven by imperial ambitions and the need to control and develop the vast eastern territories. Tens of thousands of workers were brought into the remote wilderness. Many never returned. Many never returned.
They laid tracks through frozen swamps, dug tunnels through rock, and built bridges over rivers that rose violently in the spring.
Railways changed Siberia forever. Towns sprang up where stations were built.
Resources began flowing westward. Coal, timber, minerals, and people followed the tracks.
What previously took months by river or sled could now be traversed in days. Siberia was no longer isolated.
Today, the Trans-Siberian Railway remains a lifeline. Freight trains transport oil, grain, and metals across the continent.
Passenger cars move slowly through vast forests where villages appear and disappear in an instant.
The Chuya Highway winds through the Altai Mountains, following a route that has existed for millennia.
Long before asphalt and engines, merchants, nomads, and caravans used this road to travel between Siberia and Central Asia.
Today, it is considered one of the most beautiful roads in Russia, but its beauty is inseparable from its difficulty.
The Chuya River flows alongside the road, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce, shaping both the terrain and the route.
Unlike other major highways, the Chuya Highway does not overwhelm the surrounding landscape.
The villages remain small. Traffic is sparse. The road feels temporary, almost borrowed from the mountains.
The Katu Yarik Pass is not a road in the conventional sense. It is a steep road carved directly into the side of the mountain.
Built to connect isolated valleys with the outside world, it is both essential and harsh.
The pass descends nearly a kilometer through a series of steep, narrow bends. No guardrails, gravel and loose earth.
Below lies the Tulishman Valley. Remote and largely unspoiled, it opens up like a deep cut in the Altai Mountains.
The Tulishman River meanders at the bottom of the valley, its cool blue waters rushing between sheer cliffs.
The Tulishman River meanders at the bottom of the valley, its cool blue waters rushing between sheer cliffs. On either side are high grey and brown mountain slopes eroded over millennia, revealing layers of bare rock as history is peeled away. Driving through the pass is a lesson in humility. In Siberia, even roads carry the weight of consequences. Tobolsk is located where Siberian history first began. Founded in the late 16th century, it was once the capital of Russia's eastern frontier, a place of conquest, trade, and exile. Most striking is the only stone Kremlin in all of Siberia. Rising above the river, its white walls and onion-shaped domes look down upon the lower quarters. A clear boundary between power and everyday life. From Tobolsk, Russia expanded eastward, mapping the rivers and establishing fortresses across the unexplored land. However, the city was also a place of exile. Dissidents, intellectuals, and political prisoners passed through its gates, including members of the Romanov family in 1917. Tobolsk carries within it both ambition and loss. Preserved in stone on a land that once felt endless. Novosibirsk shouldn't exist in its current location. Beginning as a temporary settlement for workers in 1893, it was built to support a bridge across the Ob River for the Trans-Siberian Railway. Novosibirsk is not only the scientific center of Siberia, but also a place where modern architecture finds its place. Today, Novosibirsk is the largest city in Siberia and the unofficial capital of the region. Wide avenues cut through densely populated residential areas. Research institutes are concentrated in Akademgorodok. Culture, technology, and industry intersect here. Despite the harsh winters, life remains dynamic and forward-looking. Novosibirsk represents modern Siberia, loud, ambitious, and moving forward. Siberia is not just a treasure trove of resources or a frigid prison. It is a mirror reflecting human resilience and the untamed power of nature. They consider it home and have made agreements that only they understand. Siberia doesn't disappear when the journey ends. It remains a quiet, profound heart long after you leave. The Saka people have lived in Yakutia for centuries, developing a culture as deep and layered as the permafrost beneath their feet. Their traditional knowledge of the land, how to read the ice, predict storms, and survive the dark winters, has been passed down for generations. The Evenki people are among Siberia's oldest inhabitants, nomadic reindeer herders who move with the seasons. Their reindeer provide everything: transportation, food, clothing, and shelter. A complete relationship with a single animal. Their traditional tents, called chums, can be assembled and disassembled in under an hour. A home built for movement. Inside, a central fire burns continuously. The smell of reindeer skin and birchwood smoke fills the air.
Siberia's rivers are not just waterways, they are the veins of a living landscape. The Ob, the Yenisei, and the Lena, 3 of the world's longest rivers, all flow northward through Siberia toward the Arctic Ocean. In spring, when the snow melts, these rivers flood on a biblical scale. Entire forests disappear beneath the water. Villages built on higher ground watch and wait. The Siberian tiger, the largest cat on Earth, still roams the forests of the Russian Far East. Few people ever see one in the wild. They are shadows in the snow. The wolverine, relentless, fearless, and built for the cold, covers enormous distances across the Siberian wilderness. The Siberian crane, one of the rarest birds in the world, makes an extraordinary migration across the continent each year.
Siberia's skies are as extraordinary as its land. The northern lights dance above the Arctic tundra. Ribbons of green and violet ripple across the darkness. A light show written in charged particles and magnetic fields. In winter, polar nights last for weeks. The sun barely rises above the horizon. Then summer arrives, and the sun refuses to set. The midnight sun transforms everything. Siberian summers are brief but intense. Wildflowers explode across the tundra in a desperate rush of color. Insects swarm in their billions. Birds arrive in enormous flocks to breed and raise their young.
And then, almost before it began, summer ends. The cold returns. The cycle continues.
Climate change is reshaping Siberia faster than anywhere else on Earth. Permafrost is thawing. Ancient carbon is being released. Lakes are forming where there was once solid ground. The forests that once stayed frozen are beginning to burn. Massive wildfires consume millions of hectares each summer. Siberia is changing. And what happens in Siberia does not stay in Siberia. It affects the entire planet.